I thought I'd do a little update video on my electric truck mount system. If you saw the previous videos that I had, I used a different pump, and I had the older version of the Mighty Waste Tank, and I also used to have a generator back here. I don't use the generator anymore. The reason I used the generator before was because I needed 3 separate circuits to run the equipment. Previously I used the general, I think it was a TS9051 pump, which is capable of, if I remember correctly, 1500 psi and 2.1 gallons per minute. I've downgraded to a Pump Tech 500 psi pump. I just say downgraded, meaning that it's a smaller pump. Now the big reason that I had the other pump was for tile and grout, but the truth of the matter is I use the Arc Orbiter to scrub tile and grout, so I'm only rinsing it with this equipment. The Arc Orbiter is really doing the bulk of the work. So I decided that I would get rid of the spinner, and I'm just going with a tile wand now, since I'm only rinsing, and 500 psi is plenty to rinse tile and grout with. And I can run everything off of 2 cords now. So instead of having the generator, I can just run these cords to the house. One of the other differences is the newer style Mighty Waste tanks. But this tank is only 54 gallons versus the other tank, which was 80. And for carpet cleaning, it's not really a big deal. I can still squeeze 2 or 3 jobs out of this tank, depending on how big they are. But for tile and grout, where I flow more water, it could potentially be an issue, although it hasn't been yet. I also did a video on setting up the waste tank to work with my electric truck mount. So if you want to see that video, let me know in the comments. I haven't put it together yet, but if you want to see it, let me know. I'll go ahead and post that. But for the most part, the system is still the same. I still use 2 of the Amatec 116765-13 vac motors. I'm still using the Little Giant 65,000 BTU heater. Still have the same hose reel, although this hose reel has seen better days. I did put some rust stop and some paint on it, but it's definitely showing its age in some of these spots. But it's still functional, so I don't see any reason to really replace it right now. One thing I did have to add is an inline filter, because the older waste tanks had a built-in filter and these newer ones don't. But as far as not having the generator, that's the only other difference, and really it has not been an issue for me, primarily because most of my jobs are VLM now anyway. I'm probably about 90% VLM. So it's kind of a struggle to get everything I wanted into the trailer, and I still don't have everything that I want in here. But I just tried to maximize the space that I had to make everything work as well as it could. So I'm still using the Workhorse vacuum, which I really like. Before, I was carrying 2 vacuums. Really, I was using the Sanitaire for houses where there was a lot of urine and I didn't want to get that smell into the Workhorse. But I decided to just carry 1, and if the situation is so bad that I don't want to run the Workhorse in it, I'll just have them vacuum where it's not going to get vacuumed. It's just the way it is. But I don't want to foul up the Workhorse and have it smell nasty into other customers' home and have to go through cleaning it just because someone let their dog pee all over the carpet. But just to show you around a little bit, still using the Challenger. I still really like it. I like the reliability of it. I've got my rake and a microfiber mop right here. Bucket for my dirty pads. And I keep all my Arc Orbiter stuff in here. I've got a few different pad drivers, different pads. And I use this big bucket deal to keep all my Challenger pads in. Got the bath mats, microfiber, cotton, and I've got a few with the scrub strips here. One more neat little thing I found on Amazon was this grocery bag holder to hold the plastic bags like everybody seems to have. So I screwed this to the wall, and I just stick a few bags in the top here now and then, so when I need one, I can just pull this out and use it. And it comes in handy to empty the vacuum in if there's no garbage can handy or anything like that. But that about does it for the back of the trailer. So let's go check out the front. I'm still using the air hose for my water supply hose. And got this glider here. I seem to have a lot of problems with the Velcro sticking on these Challenger gliders, maybe because it's a textured surface, so I got to put some more Velcro on here. It'd be like the 3rd time I've had to do it, but I don't use these gliders that much. I mostly use the CD gliders that I've made. Every now and then I'll run across a job where I really need to use the Challenger gliders, but for the most part I'm not using them. So as I said earlier, there's where I keep the orbiter. This is the bucket I bring in whether I'm doing hot water extraction or VLM. It has 20 volume, ammonia, and some Sagercide, which this stuff has been working excellent for even heavy pet odors. Keep a couple rags in here, and of course the gliders. Now I have a tool bag, which when I bought it I was planning on bringing it in to houses. I really never do it. I've got some furniture sliders in there. I don't really move furniture, with the exception of moving kitchen tables for a tile and grout job. And I've got my Amazon UV light and a couple pair of glasses in here somewhere. There's one. I usually have two pairs of glasses, one for the customer to wear and one for me to wear if I'm doing a pet inspection. I've been using the Husqvarna Pump Zero sprayer for a while. I have one manual and one of the Pump Zeros, and you can switch out Pump Zero heads to work on either sprayer. And I like the fact that I have a 400 watt built-in inverter in my truck, and I can plug that in and charge it on the way to a job. And it usually only takes about 30 minutes to get it fully charged. I've got another bucket in here that I can use for pads if I need to bring a whole bunch of them in. Otherwise, I'll usually just throw some pads on top of this. Got my corner guards there for hot water extraction. As far as my chemicals go, I'm mostly just keeping it the same, with only a couple exceptions. Got my measuring cup here. But for general deodorizers, I've been using this unbelievable Rid's odor for years. It works pretty good even for light pet odor. And I always advertise free deodorizer. I don't charge for it. These are only about $20 per gallon, and a little goes a long way. So I've got the spiced green tea, which customers really love, and the mango, which smells really good. It's not quite as strong though. So if they want something a little milder and they like that fruity scent, I'll use that. These are scent boosters, which are made for your in-wash laundry, but I put them in the vacuum cleaner to keep any funk from getting in the air. I think they work just as good as I think it's called Unstoppables or whatever, the name brand. So I've been happy with those. I get those from Family Dollar. That is the PG25 pre-spray that I use for both hot water extraction and VLM. This stuff will literally melt grease off of carpet. And it's unbelievable because it has no butyl in it. It's made from food grade ingredients. And it's very economical, and it does not leave a residue. So that's my go-to pre-spray for VLM and hot water extraction. And those two jugs are just some 20 volume. Here I've got mostly spotters. I've got a jug of ammonia there. That's some Sagers. Back here I do have some citrus gel, which I do use on occasion for hot water extraction for tougher stuff like paint. Got a few gloves there too. So I actually have 3 bottles of ammonia there. I have some vinegar there in case I need to use something on the acid side. That jug is some Tile Whiz, which is tile cleaner. And I'm going to try the PG25 on it because of how good it works on everything else. I just haven't had occasion to try it yet on tile. And back in the corner I have a trigger sprayer, which is just a spare, and a couple quarts of 40 volume peroxide. On my shelf here I've got a tool bag, which fortunately for VLM I don't need it much, but hot water extraction there's always something like a clogged jet or something coming up where you need the tools. Got a blower. I usually have 2 blowers here. One's out. I left at a job the other day and I haven't picked it up yet. And those bins just have miscellaneous things in them. I've got a handheld orbital polisher, some pads, and my arc brushes, a few little parts here. I've got a small little vacuum. Got my extension cords there for if I need longer cords than what I have. And then there's some parts in here like vacuum bags, vacuum belts, some pads for the microfiber mop, a couple bucket lids, and I do have a water claw in here also. And at the bottom I have my SDS sheets. And there is my wand, which I did get a new wand with a glide on it. It helps a little bit, but I'm not super impressed with it. But then again, it's an AW29 style wand, so a better wand would probably benefit from a glide more than that one does. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. This gives me the ability to hot water extract or use VLM. But the biggest reason that I still wanted to stick with hot water extraction, at least to some degree, is for tile and grout cleaning, because I just don't like going the VLM route with it. But there's also the customers that just insist on steam cleaning, and like I said, probably 10% of my customers just want the wand and the hoses. So this way I can still do that and not lose that business. All right, that's going to do it for this video. So if you were interested in building an electric truck mount, be sure and check my other videos. I'll link some of them here at the end of this one for you to look at on how it was set up before. So that might give you a few ideas. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.